and good morning. I guess I should say noon because it's noon, and that means it is time for our regularly scheduled Friday lunch and learn. So hopefully you've grabbed a sandwich or some fruit or a smoothie or something, and you're going to play along with me. This is going to be a little bit out of the ordinary. My brain is just going in a lot of different directions, but I want to talk to you about the microwaves. I want to talk to you about microwaving your food. I want to talk to you about the microwaves that you're getting from cell phone towers and just other electrical appliances. I mean, did you even know that sleeping under an electric blanket absolutely changes the way your cells function because of the EMFs? Now, an EMF is an electromagnetic frequency, and we have them all around. This is why we have satellite TV. This is why we have radio. This is why we have x-rays. I mean, this electromagnetic energy is in the earth. That's why we have sunshine. That's why we get a sunburn. And so all of these energy forms are not detrimental, but sometimes they can be. And so I kind of want to be a little eclectic today. And, if you need to Google that word, then that'll be fine. And the reason I say eclectic is because I want to show you a dramatic correlation between microwaves and your body. And so I've got to set the stage. This might be more than just one video, I'm not sure. But I had seen in the newspaper, and this is in the Epic Times, and I have referenced them all the time because you get news you just don't get anywhere else. And then I did a deep dive into all the different documents about this because I believe that microwaving your food is very detrimental to your health, but they are in almost every home. And in fact, I have one. I don't really use it. I use it to rewarm my coffee in the morning. And I know that coffee has no nutritional value, so I'm not really concerned about that. But it may change the structure of the water in the coffee, so I may have to do a double take on that. I don't know that anybody's ever looked at what happens to coffee when it's been brewed or when it has been microwaved, but that might be, if somebody wants to take on that experiment, I would heartily applaud you. Okay, so studies show that microwaves drastically reduce the nutrients in your food. So I remember being younger and just not knowing anything and being so excited that we could cook meals so quickly in the microwave and all that kind of thing, and just had no idea that it was not conducive to good nutrition. Now, I didn't really ever get into it because I could never adapt the recipe so that they worked, and the food didn't taste good to me. And so I really never have cooked with a microwave. I am guilty sometimes of gently rewarming something. And as I said, I am guilty of rewarming my coffee. And I've even been guilty of putting my ceramic plates in the microwave and turning it on just to heat the plates because call me, a princess, but I like my food to be on a hot plate. And so I have been guilty of doing that. So those are principally the reasons that I have a microwave, and I don't even do popcorn in the microwave anymore because of all of the carcinogens that are in the process. So we're going to talk about this, and I'm going to give you some background on this story. So there were some studies, there are a lot of studies, and in all of the different documentation that I looked at over the course of the week, it all referenced these same stories. So I'm only going to just reference them once, and then we'll be good with that. So 3 studies of historical food composition have shown that 5 to 40% of the minerals in fresh produce are reduced with microwaving. A 1999 Scandinavian study of the cooking of asparagus spears found that microwaving caused a reduction in the vitamins. In the study of garlic, and don't you know we love garlic for its antibiotic and its antiviral properties, in as little as 60 seconds of microwave heating was enough to inactivate the garlic's principal active ingredient against cancer. So we know from these studies that doing a microwave or cooking with a microwave can be detrimental to the nutrients of the food. A study published in November of 2003 in the issue of the Journal of Science and Food and Agriculture found that broccoli zapped in a microwave with a little water lost up to 97% of its beneficial antioxidants. By comparison, steamed broccoli only lost 11% or fewer of its antioxidants. There was also a reduction to the phenol compounds and the glucosinades, but the mineral levels appear to remain intact. So why do we eat broccoli? We eat broccoli for its antioxidants, particularly breast cancer genes. So there are indole carbanols in the broccoli, and if you nuke it, you're not getting those, and so you're not helping yourself if you have breast issues, okay? A recent Australian study showed that microwaves can cause a high degree of protein unfolding than traditional or conventional heating. Microwaves can destroy the essential disease-fighting agents in breast milk that offer protection to your baby. In 1992, the Stanford School of Medicine study found that microwaved breast milk lost lysozyme activity, antibodies, and fostered the growth of more potentially pathogenic bacteria. That means when you nuke your breast milk, then you've got some issues. Hopefully you do it when it's out of the breast, I'm just saying there, and so we don't want to do that. So think about the words we use when we talk about microwaving. We say we nuke the food. We say that we zapped the food. So we know that when we're dealing with microwaves, we're dealing with some really, really high energy things. So I want you just to kind of think about your language. Think about what you do with your microwave, and I'm going to give you some kind of statistics here. I'm hoping this is not going to be boring, but I'm going to try and make a connection to what is going on in your bodies. Now, you know that we eat food because we need fuel. So the food, as you're going to see as I'm continuing on with this article, the food in the microwave has to have water in order to cook. So how my plates get warm, because my plates don't have any water on them. I mean, they're dry plates, but they do get heated in the microwave. So I don't know exactly how that works. But on your food, apparently the studies show that if your food doesn't have any water in it, then your food is not going to get hot. That it is the microwave energies that changes the polarity of the water molecules, and it causes the water to, I'm going to say explode, for a lack of a better word. And so I want you to kind of get a picture of what that is. We know, you can look at any kind of screensaver, you can look at pictures of vacations, especially beach vacations, and almost everybody is calmed and appreciates and is grateful for those beautiful seascapes with the water, because we know that we intrinsically know that we have upwards of 70% of our body is water, and so we know that we have to appreciate the water. So I want you to think about that, because I'm going to try and make a correlation here. So do yourself, just make a note of this. I'm not going to show you. I might show you a video. I've got a video pulled up to show you. I'm just going to see kind of how this goes on. But there is a video. I don't think it's a YouTube video. I think I just Googled polarity of water. And they show that water is a bipolar molecule. Well, I just had to laugh at that, because being bipolar is not necessarily a good thing. But being bipolar in water means that this drop can connect with this drop, and they can hold together, and they can do what they need to do because they're attracted to each other. So you need to understand that water has polarity. Your body has polarity. When your polarity works properly, then you're nice and healthy. They call people that have mental distress bipolar because they have lost their cellular polarity. Now, this is a really in-depth conversation. I don't really want to go on, take up too much time on this, but you just need to understand that everything that lives and moves and breathes has a charge. Okay, hopefully it is a balanced polarity charge, and it is not a bipolar in the negative sense of the word charge. So think about that, because we're going to talk about water. So I want you to think about water, think about your food, think about your body, okay? And we're going to just kind of move on here. Okay, the Stanford study found that more damage was done to the milk by microwaving than by any other methods of heating, concluding microwaving appears to be contraindicated at high temperatures, and questions regarding the safety exist even at low temperatures. Needless to say, we do not recommend cooking in microwave ovens, though mildly heating leftovers may not pose the same problem as discussed above. Okay? So, in other cases, the problems outweigh the convenience. Microwaving fatty foods in plastic containers leads to the release of dioxins that are known carcinogens. Hopefully, y'all don't do that. If you do reheat your dinner, you're going to put it in a glass or ceramic container, because you do not want to be using plastic containers in your microwave, okay? You don't want to use tin foil either. I'm just going to throw that out there. Common microwavable foods include pizza, chips, and popcorn. The chemicals released, including the polyethylene, terephenolate, benzene, toluene, and xylene, are released when you are using your microwave. So none of those are good. None of those are good for you. Additionally, microwaving creates new compounds that are not found in humans or in nature, and these are called radiolytic compounds, right? Maybe I need to rethink about heating my coffee. I don't want these radiolytic compounds. We don't yet know what these compounds are doing to the body, but they certainly are not health promoting, and that's what we're trying to do. Eating fresh, uncooked, minimally heated fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, herbs and spices is the basis of eating healthy. So this is by a man, Edward Bowman. He holds a master's degree in education and a doctorate in health promotion. So he is the president of the Bowman College of Holistic Nutrition and Culinary Arts. He studied this for about a few decades there. So let's talk about protein unfolding. So this was a new thing to me. I've been reading, I've been researching, especially, I've been doing this DNA stuff. And so I did not understand about protein unfolding. Now, when I get a letter in the mail and I open up that envelope and I unfold that letter, that's a good thing. I want to see what's on that letter. And so I'm thinking protein unfolding can't be a bad thing. But oh no, protein unfolding is a very bad thing. So I'm just going to read you this little excerpt. We often think of proteins in the nucleus as the nutrients in the food that we eat are the main components of muscles. But proteins are also microscopic molecules inside the cells that perform diverse and vital jobs. With the Human Genome Project complete, the scientists are turning their attention to the human proteome, which is a catalog of human proteins. So this work has shown that the world of proteins is a fascinating one, full of molecules such as intricate shapes and precise functions that seem almost fanciful. So if you do, again, a Google search on protein folding, you will see animation of what a protein fold looks like. Understand that for the protein in your body to work, it has to be in a three-dimensional shape that makes it bioavailable. So I'm going to continue here. The protein's function depends on the shape. And when protein formation goes awry, the resulting misshapen proteins cause problems that range from bad, when proteins neglect their important work, to ugly, when they form sticky, clumpy mess inside the cells. Current research suggests that the world of proteins is far from pristine. Protein formation is an error-prone process, and mistakes along the way have been linked to a number of human diseases. So I'm going to try and make a pathway here for you. You are made of water. Water is what is needed in the food so that you can nuke your food. When you nuke your food, you unfold the proteins. It is the proteins in the folded shapes, whatever that is. And you can do your own Google search, and it is fascinating to watch these animations of these proteins and to see what they look like. But I understand, and I'm not a biochemist, but I understand that a protein that is not folded properly will not do what it needs to do in the body. Now, we all remember from our health class, right, that our bodies are repaired with proteins, and it is the amino acids in the protein that the body uses to produce enzymes, and those enzymes correlate all the chemical processes in our body. So if we are microwaving our food and we're getting those proteins that are unfolded, then we're having a real problem, because you can't use the proteins if they're not in their three-dimensional shape. Now, hopefully everybody understands all that. I've got several pieces of paper up here, and some of it is duplication, so I don't want to duplicate, but I want to tell you something that's really, really important. Okay. So this is a quote from a Mr. Hans Hertel, who is a Swiss scientist. And this is what he says: there are no atoms, molecules, or cell of any organic system able to withstand such a violent, destructive power, and they're talking about microwaves, for any extended period of time, not even in the low energy range of milliwatts. This is how the microwave cooking heat is generated. The friction from the violence of the water molecules, okay? The molecules are torn apart. They are forcibly deformed, which is called structural isomerisms, and thus become impaired in quality. So we think that when we put the food in and we nuke the food and the food gets hot and it's a time-saving convenience, right? It unfolds the protein so that your body can't use it, and it takes that water, right? That water which is in the food, and I just started my video and I did not want to do that. Hang on a second. Oh shoot, hang on a second. Hang on.
Hey, are you tired of
No, it went to a different video. Hang on just a second. We're gonna get there in a minute.
pushing false narratives upon?
I gotta wait till the ad. I have to wait till the ad goes away. I had it all queued up and I missed it. So the thing I want you to understand is that water is bipolar. Water is alive. Water remembers. This is what I want to show you. Water remembers. So I'm going to just show you this video. Just stop a minute. Oh man, yeah, stop a minute. Okay, so this scientist, it's a doctor out of Japan, and I think he has a book called Messages in Water. All kinds of slides out there and all this kind of stuff. There's tons and tons of YouTube videos, but I wanted to pick one that was short enough to show you something, because I'm trying to make a point. So I hope you're still staying with me. I know not many people are with me right now, but I hope you'll stay with me because it's going to be worth it. This is a Japanese scientist. He's a doctor. It's called Maso Emoto. I may not have said that right. Messages in Water is his book. So I'm going to turn the screen. Can you see that? There's not a whole lot to see. We're going to try and see how this goes.
In a cryogenic chamber. This is what water heated in a microwave oven looks like. This is the effect of a mobile telephone. Somebody said, "Thank you to this water." Excuse me. You disgust me. Let us see how this type of water affects human blood. The doctor is drawing blood from a patient's finger. We shall be able to see the condition of her body from...
These are red blood cells, and they've lost their electrical charge, so they're all stuck together in a formation called a rouleau. Here's a huge symplast. Symplasts are associated with heart disease and arthritis and lung disease and many other conditions that could be coming in the future.
The doctor asks the patient to drink a small amount of structurized water. After 12 minutes, the doctor again draws blood from the patient and studies it.
So you can see that the cells then become buoyant, they become slippery, and they have their electrical charge, so they repel each other. That allows them to carry oxygen, and it means that we're changing the pH of the blood back to an aerobic, that just drinking water could do that.
In 1995, Dr. Emoto Masaru was the first one to record musical impressions on water. In Dr. Emoto Masaru's laboratory, they allowed water to listen to music, after which they flash froze the water, and then, under the microscope, they could clearly see the crystals that the water had formed. Here's what the music of Bach looks like. Mozart, Beethoven, heavy rock, Dr. Emoto has conducted another interesting experiment. He placed rice into 3 glass beakers and covered it with water. And then every day for a month, he said, "Thank you" to one beaker, "You're an idiot" to the second, and the third one he completely ignored. After 1 month, the rice that had been thanked began to ferment, giving off a strong, pleasant aroma. The rice in the second beaker turned black, and the rice that was ignored began to rot. Dr. Emoto thinks that this experiment provides an important lesson, especially with regard to how we treat children. We should take care of them, give them attention, and converse with them. Indifference does the greatest harm. There have been many wars on religious grounds in human history. But in our experiment, water reacted to individual words that had a religious content by forming beautiful crystals. This means that the conception of our nature coincides with each religion. The Christian prayer, the Buddhistic prayer, the Muslim prayer. Dr. Emoto presumes that serious crimes are committed most of all in areas where people curse the most often. Idiot, I hate you. Laboratory containers of water were inscribed with hieroglyphs denoting words and the names of well-known people. Love, hope, soul, Mother Teresa, Hitler. Emoto Masaru's numerous experiments aimed at finding the word that cleanses water most powerfully have shown that it is not just one word, but a combination of 2. Love and gratitude.
All right there. So,
Where is the best place
Oh,
to get
shoot.
leads online
Hang on a
for
second.
your business? Is it YouTube,
Turn off,
Facebook,
turn off,
Twitter,
turn off.
or Instagram? Well, if you are a small business owner who needs more leads and prospects,
There we go. Turn them down. Okay, so hopefully you get the idea that water remembers. So if you have water that has been forcibly torn apart, as it said in the article here, and that water remembers that, and then you're consuming that water, what is that water going to do in your body? So you need to remember, and you've got to do a little bit of research on this yourself. I mean, I've been looking at this for a long, long time. If water has memory, and the book Messages in Water will show you that. Water has memory. There are other kind of slides that you can look at on the internet. They'll show you water that comes through a chemical plant and how ugly it is. And that water, even though it's been refined, it's gone through the purification process, is still dirty. This is why we don't recommend city water or rebottled water. We recommend spring water because that's just has the most energy in it. And so hopefully you're getting the understanding that what you put inside your body really matters. And when you microwave your food, you actually change the you change the components of that water. And so when that water gets inside your cells, it doesn't do what it needs to. Your proteins become unfolded and you become more prone to sickness and disease. So I told you it was going to be a little esoteric today. So I hope you've been able to follow me. I've got an 8-page report here, okay, that's talking about the effects of the microwave on food. And you can find this report by looking at Doctors Across Borders, Doctors Beyond Medicine. It's all one website, but it's Doctors Across Borders, Doctors Beyond Medicine. And they are talking about this radiation. It's the same radiation in your cell phone and that kind of thing, and how it absolutely changes the structure of the food we eat and how it's detrimental to our health. So hopefully I've given you something to think about. I'm not going to say take your microwave out of your home because I know that it's good for some things. I just want to tell you, if you are a mom and you are warming up your breast milk in the microwave, you are doing a very, very big disservice. The report said that there's nothing that degrades breast milk any more or any worse than a microwave. So just word to the wise, you didn't know. I know you didn't know, and now you're horrified that you've been doing this to your baby. But you know what? There's grace for that. Just don't do it anymore. So thank you for joining me on this Friday. I hope you guys get to rest and recover from the week. I know it's been kind of a hairy one around here with all the things that we've been dealing with. But you know what? We love Jesus and we come on and we fight another day. So I hope you guys do too. Let me know what you think and share the video, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.